an affordable and effective internet marketing strategy is for any small and medium-sized business or large business indispensable and invaluable. So with that, let me turn the floor over to Anthony.
So my name is Anthony Milia. I'm the owner of Milia Marketing, and I started Milia Marketing about 7 years ago. My topic today is magnifying your marketing. I wrote a book on it, which I have 4 copies actually. If you can't ask questions, I'd appreciate it because I do well with questions being asked during my presentation. The agenda today will be to cover the most common marketing mistakes that we see small businesses and medium enterprises make throughout their journey as trying to grow their marketing presence in their digital marketing. And then I'll be talking about developing a marketing strategy for customer retention and also strategies for reaching new customers and a few different examples and case studies throughout to show and help you guys visualize what can be done and what should be tracked and what questions you guys should be asking as well, whether it's for your own business or helping your clients understand their journey as well. And then Q&A at the end, but like I said, please ask questions throughout. So the first thing that I want to cover is the common mistakes that businesses make within their online presence. And a few of these here, and I'm not going to cover all of them in detail, but I just wanted to cover a few, is defining your target audience. You have undefined goals, the value proposition, and most importantly is what is unique to your business or to your client's business, and how are you trying to market that? Everyone says that they're great at customer experience, or they're great at communication, or they could personalize the experience. But how is that done? How is that measurable? How is that unique from the other accounting firm, the other law firm down the street? Everyone says they're a boutique this or that, but what does that, what does that mean, right? How is that going to convince that person that makes that search on Google or clicks on that ad, lands on your website, and is now trying to compare, this law firm or this accounting firm to the next? I'm using my phone as a clicker, by the way, so this is new to me.
I thought you were waiting on a call.
No, I'm not, no. So I actually bought a clicker. And I couldn't get it to connect, but I found out this could work. So all I do is, slide my finger here. Failing to capture repeat customers, not tracking is the biggest one that I see a lot of our clients and a lot of prospects and other businesses that I talk to. They make this mistake here, is not tracking. And what I mean by that is not knowing the number of form submissions coming in, the number of phone calls coming in, the number of walk-in appointments that are coming in to their facility. And you can do that in a few ways, and I'll talk to you about it on the next few slides. Marketing without a unique sales proposition, and then too many people giving feedback. One thing that kind of makes things chaotic is too many people trying to provide feedback to the direction or the strategy and them not understanding the marketing game plan or where you're trying to go. Social proof is something that I'll talk about in a little bit. Poor website design, poor sales follow-up too. A lot of companies hire marketing firms to make their phone call ring or their phone ring, or to get inquiries into their email inbox. But what the salesperson is not doing is following up with them in a good fashion. So we do try to coach that a little bit. But there needs to be marketing and sales alignment from the start. And then, so the next slide is social proof and trust factors. A few things here. We've all seen the client logos on everyone's websites, which I highly encourage. So making it a standard within your organization to feature the partners or the clients that you've worked with on your website, in your social media, in your email newsletters, in your proposals, to build that trust with that prospect that is reading about the services that you offer or wherever they're at within the marketing funnel. Next thing is written testimonials. Again, making this one a standard as well. So anytime that you have a successful transaction or a successful business relationship, asking them to share their experience and having them write a review on Google, then you can repurpose that onto your website, into your email newsletter, into social media posts, and then it lives in your proposals, then it lives in multiple places forever. So always trying to get them to share their experience is important, because sometimes when they search for EOS integrator in Cleveland or business lawyer in Cleveland, and they see Calkins Law Firm, and they have a Google listing right there. But if they don't have any reviews, they might make that their decision based on that alone. They might not even click through to the website. So trying to bulk that up and get some positive experiences from your current clients will help you within that marketing experience, and then getting that sale quicker, so shortening the sales cycle too. Product reviews, if you're in the market for selling products. Customer photos, always trying to capture yourself with speaking with other clients. Again, I'm going to reference EOS Integrate you here. Like taking pictures of you in action doing EOS integrating, right? Or accounting firm or law firm, like you with the clients, instead of just using stock photos, because it's a little bit more personable with trying to win that sale for when you try to grow your business too. Before and afters, now this is a little bit more for the, we work with a lot of kitchen and bath companies. So taking a before of an outdated kitchen or broken countertops, old flooring, and then what the new kitchen renovation looks like after they're done. So a time-lapse video of before and after really helps convey the value that these kitchen and bath showrooms can do, or these remodeling companies can do for that customer, and then they're willing to spend that $50,000 to $100,000 for a kitchen renovation project or a bathroom renovation. Video testimonials are also big, so I encourage the people here to make it a standard to try to get video testimonials of your clients sharing their experience on camera. Ben actually just did one for us not too long ago, and it was a pretty smooth experience, right? I said, hey Ben, would you be interested in sharing your experience on camera? And he said, why not? We've been working together for about almost a year now. And now that video lives on forever for us. So anytime that we might get another law firm or someone needs that push within the sales experience, they can watch his video experience, they could watch John DeJulius' video experience, and the handful of other ones that we have. So I could do less selling, and they can just watch and hear directly from the source on their experience. Rather than, hey, call Ben and he'll say a few good things for him. I can't have 20 prospects keep calling Ben to get their feedback. I have a video for that. Media mentions are also good for people that are trying to get mentioned in Crain's Cleveland, any type of news source. So the one statement that I want you guys to take away today is what gets measured gets managed. And I'll say it one more time, is what gets measured gets managed. Set success metrics and keep your eye on the data. So if you're not measuring your marketing, your sales, or your customer experience, then how can you properly manage that on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis? Some common KPIs to track and some conversions. So the most common KPIs and goals at the beginning of your marketing journey are number of conversions. So what that means is form submissions, phone calls, people walking into a facility. It could be a white paper download, downloading an ebook. It could be registering for a webinar. So anytime that you're paying for marketing, whether it's social media ads, Google ads, SEO, email newsletters, just regular social media posts, right? Being able to say, how many phone calls did we get from our Facebook ads? How many phone calls did we get from Google ads? How many phone calls did we get from email newsletters? One example that I'll use is that for a landscaping company, they have yard signs, right? And a lot of these landscaping companies will just put their business phone number on the yard sign. They have no idea how many phone calls that these yard signs are producing for them because they're not tracking it. But if they're able to create a unique phone number, put on the yard sign, and that unique phone number is only displayed on yard signs, they're able to say, we received 20 phone calls in the past year based off these yard signs that we put everywhere. Now, did those 20 phone calls convert into a customer? If they did, then it might pay off for the yard sign, because yard signs aren't a huge investment, right? But it's up to that business to see, did that pay off? For another example, if you're sponsoring an event or doing a trade show, having unique phone numbers or unique call to actions and being able to say, I sponsored and paid $20,000 to exhibit at this conference, and I'm not sure about the ROI that I received on this conference. Well, if you have better tracking in place, then you would be able to say that. So if you send them to a special page or a special booking link or using a unique phone number, you'd be able to say, I generated 20 phone calls from this, and it resulted in $250,000 in revenue, paid off for the sponsorship, right? Conversion rate, click-through rate, missed call percentage, and then average call duration too. So these two pieces, missed call duration or missed call percentage and average call duration, are two big KPIs that we've been tracking for a lot of our clients within the past 24 months. And what that means is, so tracking those incoming phone calls from the marketing efforts, you're able to see how many calls is your business making. And a lot of times when you're talking to leadership or executive team doesn't know how many phone calls that the receptionist is making, right? So having this in a dashboard and be able to say, you guys missed 40 calls from your marketing efforts out of 200 this month. What's going on? They're calling during business hours. Is the receptionist being pulled aside? How is the receptionist answering the phone calls? Because you're able to listen to them. So it's a customer experience initiative too. So I encourage that to be tracked on a monthly basis as well. So being able to see the monthly call percentage or the missed call percentage, how many calls is your business missing, and then trying to put measures in place so you're not missing those phone calls. Average call duration, a lot of the times what we've seen is that when there's a higher average call duration, that usually means that the sales cycle is shorter because they're building more rapport on the phone, on their initial phone call, and getting those questions answered. So they're more likely to move to a second phone call and not ghost between those experiences.
How does a business know that they missed a call?
Through call tracking.
Okay.
So I'll get to the end, towards the end of the slide, but we use a platform called CallRail. And it allows you to create those unique phone numbers to put on your website or in other marketing collateral. So when anyone dials that phone number, not only is it recorded, but you have the timestamp, the caller ID. If it went to voicemail, you can listen to it, all these different things. So now you're able to really gauge those efforts.
Okay.
And you could also figure out the marketing sources too.
So then, say the customer hires the business, but the customer thinks that phone number is the phone number of the business. Is that the phone? But the business has another real phone number.
Yeah, they have multiple.
So
typically.
What phone number does the customer call once they are the customer? They call that tracking phone number, or they call the real phone number?
That's a great question. So the tracking phone number generally should only show to new customers or within those marketing efforts. So it should be set up properly to where that is the only instance where it happens. There might be some cases where that phone number pops up in a few other places, but for the most part, the unique phone numbers are for new customers or prospects, and then existing customers would keep the normal business line.
But once the prospect becomes a customer,
Yeah.
do they call the tracking phone number?
No, they would call the normal line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that confusing to the customer when you tell them, oh, by the way, you hire us, now that you've hired us, call this phone?
No, they're
Direct line number.
yeah, it's just a direct line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it is. The unique phone number is only popping up in areas where a typical prospective customer is when they're in that buying journey, right? So if they're searching for business law firms on Google and they go to Ben's website for the first time, they're going to see that unique phone number and then call that phone number, right? Generally, after that, it would go to the direct line number after they convert.
But when I get my monthly report, Richard, it says how many calls did I get and how many did I miss and how many forms did I get compared to the previous month. Now, certainly, not all calls are, some mornings it feels like I'm the Legal Aid Society. Not all of the calls are in the sweet spot, and not all of the forms are, relevant, or the inquiry might be from California. I can't help. I try always to respond, but at some point you need to develop a system. When I'm wrestling with that now, how do you process the inquiries and sort through them and follow up as well? And it's a trick, but if you'd rather have 30 inquiries than 3, then you're going to have to make a process out of handling the 30 inquiries. And I have an answering service. I don't have a full-time person answering the phone or doing marketing. So it does require a little bit of commitment and some imagination, and Anthony's helpful with that, creating the funnel, for where it all goes.
It does create alignment too. So if you don't have this in place, then we don't know that, maybe 50% of the leads are bad quality, or how the quality of the phone calls, right? So by tracking your form submissions and your phone calls, and meeting with your marketing vendor or listening to them, you're able to say, okay, why are 90% of these phone calls like just terrible quality or in another state that we can't even service? So that allows the marketing team to tighten up that strategy or that game plan. So you decrease that percentage, so it's only more qualified people, and that way your business is spending more time on those qualified leads. Does that answer your question? Yeah. All right. Average customer lifetime value is something that we focus on too. So for example, an auto shop in Eastlake, they know that their average customer is coming to their auto shop twice a year and spending $500 per visit. They also know that that same customer is staying with them for at least 5 years. So now we're able to attribute a $5,000 customer lifetime value, $1,000 a year times 5,000, and tie that back to marketing efforts. So anytime that if they get 10 leads in a month, that's $50,000 in potential lead value over the course of 5 years. That doesn't include the referral sources or the revenue that one customer might bring in from referring their family members or other people. I talked about the tracking a little bit as well. So I'm going to jump right into an example of a dentist out in Burton. So this dentist was struggling to increase their leads and trying to get more patients in the door. And trying to be a little bit more unique than the typical dentist down the street from them, they wanted to do a Facebook ad campaign where they were going to target women that were ages 22 to 35 who were recently engaged within a 8-mile radius. And you're able to serve them with ads to get in front of these women and try to get them in the door for a $29 teeth cleaning with an x-ray. This is before their big day, before their wedding. They want to make sure that their smile is perfect. So you're showing them pictures of trying to get them to imagine them in their shoes, right? What they're going to look like on their big day. So the offer is very, it's a good offer to attract new patients. The dentist isn't going to make a lot of money on this one. They're probably going to lose money, right? It's a loss leader of a lead. And the idea behind this is to get this bride in the door 4 to 6 months before their big day. So they now transition from a dentist that they have been going to for years to this new dentist. They get their $29 teeth cleaning with an x-ray. The dentist then says, After the x-ray, you got one root canal and you have 2 cavities, right? So let's schedule your next appointment for a month out from your wedding. So then that's the second visit. Then all of a sudden, they're in the system. So when she gets married, maybe she brings the bridesmaids, maybe she brings the husband, the kids. So this $29 offer might have lost a few $100 on that first visit from the dentist, but that now becomes, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 from that one family over the course of their entire lifetime. Another example, we have Forenza Stone in Eastlake. They are a 4th generation family-owned countertop fabricator. They have about 40,000 square feet of space, and they mainly do kitchen remodeling. They sell granite, marble, tile, flooring, etc. And they were struggling with their website was not converting. They had a lack of trust factors. So like I said, they didn't have the before and after pictures. They were spending a ton of money on marketing, but they had no idea what was coming in the door. No tracking in place, like I said, so their executive team was not aligned with their receptionist, with their marketing department, or with their sales department. They didn't know that their receptionist was missing phone calls. They didn't know that their sales team was not following up with new leads. So they had the expectation, or they believed that their marketing was just not paying off because we're spending all this money on marketing, but we're not getting anything out of it because there's not any tracking in place. Their website sucked, and there's no trust factors. There was no alignment between the post-acquisition of a customer and getting them to share their experience online, because that then cycles back to attracting new customers, like I mentioned before. Those Google reviews really help. So we notice a lot of people that are stopping and searching for kitchen remodeling in Cleveland or granite countertops near me, and they go to that first result and they see 2.3 stars on Google. They're not going to choose that company. We already lost them from the start. Although we might have a fantastic website or great ads or a great customer experience in person, probably not because it's a 2.3 star, but how are we trying to resolve that on the back end? So some solutions, redesigning their website, some testimonials, before and afters, video content, whether it's showing their executive team a walkthrough of the showroom, how countertops are fabricated, new slabs coming into the showroom. So anything that you can think of how can you improve that pre-purchase experience, and develop video content or other marketing collateral for middle of the funnel or post-acquisition, right? What does their onboarding experience look like? What is the the first month look like at your accounting firm? How are you conveying that value to that customer? And the impact is, like I said, what gets measured gets managed. So once you start tracking your marketing and meeting with your marketing department, you're able to see those numbers and have that scorecard, right? So a 32% increase in revenue, 135 leads increase month over month. You start to see your organic traffic come up, and now they're one of the top countertop fabricators in Cleveland. When you start looking at the data, like Ben said, you're able to start measuring it and managing it. It's exactly what EOS does too, is you pay attention to those numbers and you know your goals, you know your rocks, and you just go after it each time. So identifying some customer opportunities. What I have here is a rough draft of a journey for Forenza Stone. So when someone is looking for services or for kitchen remodeling or for your services as an accountant, right? They might search for that. They come across the ad on Google or on social media. They engage with the ad. They go to the landing page, and then that should result in a call or a form submission. And from there, they might get invited to the showroom. They might have that initial discovery call with the law firm or with the accounting firm, and get converted into a sale. Then they're into the once they're converted into a sale, successful transaction. So let's just imagine that the granite countertop was installed successfully at the homeowner's home. And once that's done, the sales team will follow up with an experience share saying, hey, Ben, how was your experience with Forenza Stone? Was there anything that we could have done better? So they're surveying every single customer after the countertop was installed so they could intercept any negative experiences after that is done, right? So surveying that customer, whether it's at the beginning or at the end of that installation, they're able to gather that feedback so they don't make that same mistake in the future. Once they get that experience share, once they receive it, Forenza Stone will send them a thank you card, handwritten, with a picture of their family and the team on the card, and a gift card for their next purchase. As we know, with sometimes with lawyers, you don't always need. You hire a lawyer, and then that's like, you might not talk to them for another 6 months. With kitchen remodeling, you get your new countertop, or you renovate your kitchen, and that's probably you don't do that for another 5 years or 3 years. So what we've created is a thank you gift and a thank you card. It includes a gift card. It includes a heart stone made of granite, where they can place it on their countertop. It includes flowers because they're kind of gifting, thank you for trusting us for your business. And the gift card is for them to come back again. So apply this gift card to your next purchase. They're likely not going to use that as they just made that purchase, but what they're going to do is give that gift card to someone else that will. So it's making the sale easier for a company like Forenza Stone to get them in the door quicker, and it increases that referral for the cost of a $100, $200 gift card, when they're going to spend $5,000, $20,000, $100,000 on kitchen remodeling. Covered that. So the result of that is that repeatable processes creates consistent and memorable experiences. So as you're going through your marketing experiences, your sales experiences, your customer experiences, creating repeatable processes and systems will allow you to prevent those challenges or issues from coming up, and trying to always improve that experience by 1% or that system by 1%. And then the impact of that you'll see on your bottom line. So what can businesses do to keep customers coming back? Ben, I know you've probably seen this, and if you guys have attended John's presentation last September, he probably talked about this too, but Forward. So we implement this within our own marketing firm. A lot of people throughout the U.S. and even the world that are familiar with John's methodology on family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And from John, Forward is what they are passionate about and what makes them light up. So we make this a standard within our marketing firm, and we try to help our clients make this a standard within their own organizations, is collecting Forward from their customer base. And what I mean by that is when we onboard a new client, for example, we might gather all their social media accounts and store it within our CRM. So we were able to go to Ben's Facebook profile and say, he was just in Hilton Head last week and we didn't know that. So we might surprise him with an engraved Hilton Head picture frame with a picture of him and his fiance, right? And it might be at his office when he shows up. So we're able to do unique things like that. But it goes a little bit more beyond that of just like surprising and buying gifts for your clients. It means that you're listening to them. So if you say that you had to reschedule a meeting with us because you had to drop off your son at Ohio State University for their freshman year, and this is your first and only son, and you're a little emotional about it, I might ask you about it next week. I also might go a little above and beyond and surprise you with a picture frame, a hoodie, or something like that to let you know that I was listening, right? Because a lot of people don't know that, what they're saying. You might have forgot that you told me that you were doing that. You know what I mean? But if I follow up with you next week, it's something that other companies are not even doing. Just something so small like that. So when does it make sense to use call tracking? I'm going to go back to this, is that now and always with your marketing. And better tracking leads to better experiences. You're able to see which prospect is looking at which campaign coming from which marketing sources, and the keywords that they're entering into Google to lead to that phone call, or what campaign did they click on social media, or what blog article did they read on your website, and how did they convert. And that allows you to see, okay, where should I put more of my time? Or are these leads that are coming from these blog articles worth my time? Is it paying off? Cornerstone Foot Care, another example of a very small podiatrist, foot and ankle care facility here in Cleveland. Their website forms didn't work for over a year. So when they thought that they were just not doing good marketing, they weren't receiving any of their form inquiries because it was broken. They had a great website design, but lacked conversion tracking. So again, they didn't know the marketing sources and where things were coming from. And then they were just skeptical for online marketing. So putting that tracking in place really allowed them to see what was working and what wasn't, which made an impact of a 36% conversion rate. So the number of people that were clicking on the ad, landing on the landing page and making that phone call or form submission, they were converting at a high percentage because they had a need, and Cornerstone Foot Care was there to resolve that need and answering that phone call or responding to that form. And this is what a dashboard would look like for call tracking too. So you can see here that the answered versus missed calls, there's 81 calls total, 72 calls were answered and 9 were missed. With other companies, they might see 300 calls a month or 500 calls a month. So the data discrepancy, you might be able to say, if an organization is getting 400 calls a month and they're missing 100 calls, that's a big issue. That's a very big issue. With this one, this might be after hours where they're not staffed because maybe their patients are waiting until they get home from work to call and make an appointment. And that's something that was found out. You're not able to find that out unless you're tracking the phone calls.
Now, are those missed calls unanswered, or are they calls without a message left?
They were unanswered.
Okay.
Which also, yeah, which is also unanswered in voicemails, right?
Okay.
So what the doctor saw was that since these calls are coming in after hours, she started answering the phone calls herself. So instead of them going to voicemail, because that patient is probably in pain and she just wants someone to talk to. So the doctor started answering phone calls from from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and was starting to convert those patients or prospective patients into customers. Because otherwise, if they were just leaving a voice message or not having their phone call answered, that patient was just going to call the next podiatrist that was going to answer their phone. And that's a real thing with lawyers, with accountants, with marketing firms. They're looking for a quick response. First person that can call them back, or the first person that answers that phone call will have a higher chance of closing that customer. We'll take Jeff Sitz out of Akron. He owns a multi-location dry cleaners. It's been around for 120 years. And with dry cleaning, a lot of them are all the same. You have D.O. Summers, you have City Cleaners, which is his company, and then a few other dry cleaners that are local mom and pops that only have one location. But you're pretty much just looking to have your clothes dry cleaned, and that's it. You drop it off, and you don't really change it much unless you move. So what was created was a marketing funnel, this is kind of what it looks like on the back end of where the marketing source is coming from: Facebook, Google, YouTube, you're remarketing these people. So people that do land on the citycleaners.com website, they would know if they don't take action, then you can remarket to them and serve them ads to get them back to the website. Similar to how you guys might have gone on Amazon and you're looking at a product and then you go on Facebook or Google or another search engine and you see that same product following you around. It's exactly what's being done. So you see here that they're going to a landing page, which is about their pickup and delivery service, and they're trying to increase that percentage within high income neighborhoods. So it's a registration form there, and then they're able to know if they bounce off of this page, they're now going to get more ads to get them back to this page. And if they convert, then they go to registration or a thank you page, and they'll get entered into the sales experience and then get set up on a delivery service for their laundry. And then if they also upon registering, they get phone calls, text messages, emails as well to continue that experience. So this would be an example of the journey of what it looks like for them, and trying to tailor marketing to each stage, because there's going to be different pieces that support different stages of the marketing journey. So it might be Google ads or social media ads trying to get into a very cold customer that has no idea about your accounting firm or your law firm or the dry cleaners, and just trying to spread awareness. And then afterwards, it might be promoting blog articles. It might be newsletters, other social media posts. It might be different ads, getting them into a demo or their first discovery call. After that first discovery call, it might be sending them more content that's related to the middle piece of their buying journey, and how can you really get them to move forward. Here's another example for more of like an enterprise marketing effort, but you're able to see here that you can track every stage of the buying journey through online advertising. So you can see the moment that they saw the ad and didn't even click on it, the date, the type of ad, and then the next time that they see the ad, the next time that they received an email, saw an ad, other time. You can see if they filled out a form, opened the email, and that gives your sales team more ammo to work with when they're following up with that person, because now after 18 touch points, they're probably warmed up a little bit, and they know what type of language to use when they follow up on a sales call. Here is an example. I'm hoping.
Hello, and welcome to another segment of Your Questions Scrubbed Away. I'm your host, clean, impeccable, tidy, and always willing to answer why Sir Clean. Looks like we have another pressing question. Let's see what it is. Jasmine of Fairlawn asks, Sir Clean. Sir Clean, when receiving my clean clothes from City Cleaners, do I need to be home when they arrive? Excellent question, Jasmine of Fairlawn. The short answer, no, you don't need to be home. But for the long answer, we first need to rewind and understand City Cleaners home delivery laundry service. At City Cleaners, we provide free pickup and delivery services. All you have to do is leave your clothes in a designated spot, and one of our clean professionals comes to pick them up. Three days later, City Cleaners returns your freshly cleaned clothes to the same designated spot. So, back to the question. So, Jasmine of Fairlawn, the long answer to your question is no. that answer is actually the same length as it was before. Oh well. Turns out City Cleaners keeps things simple with their free pickup and delivery services that do not require you to be home. How convenient. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I've answered your question as well as City Cleaners keeps your clothes clean. And if anyone else at home has a pressing question, send them in and we'll get you an answer. I'm Sir Clean, and this has been another Your Questions Scrubbed Away. See you next time.
So a little unique, not the typical corporate video, and they use this video in advertising to reach customers within the neighborhoods that they were already servicing. So what they did was they imported their contact list, their customer list, into Facebook, into Google, and they're able to create what's called lookalike audiences and target people that are living next to those high-income neighborhoods. Like you saw the house, they want those same customers. The $500,000 plus houses in Akron, in surrounding areas, with targeting women that are mostly making these decisions with the dry cleaning, might save them time. They understand the process, they get their questions answered. So the barrier to sign up for this service is all of a sudden a little bit lower than what they thought before. Now they're able to use Sir Clean in their marketing efforts for a while now, and people are going to match up Sir Clean with City Cleaners. So anytime he appears, they're gonna understand that that's the brand.
Hey, Anthony, where does this run? On TV, on YouTube, on your website?
YouTube ads, Facebook ads, TikTok, Instagram, typically. They can run local ads with it, like on Netflix and Hulu and things like that. But their audience mostly engages with this type of advertising campaign on social media platforms. And because since you're able to import your customer list and really dial in on who you're targeting, it was like a layup with that because they're getting right in front of them. And with that too, with video ads, you're able to see the percentage of watch time as well. So for example, this is like a 2-minute, 3-minute long video. We're able to target people if they watch at least 50 or 75% of this video. We're now able to target that audience with other ads. So it becomes a little bit more narrow, right? We could serve them other ads to get them to move forward. So we know, okay, they didn't move forward on this video, but we know that they were engaged. What else can we serve them with to get them to purchase? Here's another one, and I found out that I could turn up the volume on my phone. I didn't know that, so sorry guys. So here's the next one. And before I play it, this is what's called a remarketing ad. So anyone that visits the citycleaners.com website in that specific landing page and they do not take action, we're able to remarket to that same person on Facebook or other platforms with an ad because we know they visited the website. So think about if you have case studies or portfolio or testimonials or a pricing page on your website or services page. We know that that person's interested. Even a contact us page. If someone visits your contact us page and they do not fill out the form, why didn't they move forward? Well, you could serve them ads because they were just about to move forward. Remind them to get them back, and then they can convert. Similar to...
How long before you drop off that list if you don't do anything?
Yeah, so there's other targeting parameters that you can set up. So like there's something called ad fatigue. So we know that if this same ad was shown to you, 6 times, you're probably going to get sick of it. So once it hits that limit, then it stops showing to those types of people. Or we change up the ads because that one wasn't resonating with you.
Hey, Sir Clean here. Thanks for checking out City Cleaners. Look, I heard your neighbors are all signing up for City Cleaner's free home delivery laundry service. Can you imagine how good they're gonna look and how much extra time they'll have? Why haven't you? Here's that URL again.
So something kind of corny, silly, but it's working, right? And it's something that D.O. Summers and the other dry cleaners are not doing. This dry cleaner's invested in actors and a video production firm and really put their money into this, and they're standing out. So what also you can do is creating content or ads using that same actor, Sir Clean. And now anytime that either someone watched the video or visited the website, they're now seeing Sir Clean, matching it with city cleaners and dry cleaning and laundry services. So when they click on this ad, they go to this website, they see him again, pointing down, draws your eyeballs down to what they're supposed to be looking at, which is the copy, the content, the video of the home delivery service, and then the form on the right for them to create their account and to move forward. So it's free for them to set up, and it gets them in the cycle of a weekly delivery service, and it's just another customer that they can start delivering laundry to. Because once you convert, then you're in, for years, right? You never want to do your laundry again because you have someone doing it for you. So just to recap, we talked about the common marketing mistakes. We talked about developing a marketing strategy for customer retention and strategies for reaching new customers, and provided some examples on all three of those as well. I wanted to open it up. I know a few of you guys asked some questions, but is there anything else that I can answer? There are some tools that we do recommend. So HubSpot for managing your CRM or any types of leads that are coming in the door, or other marketing efforts. Call Royal, which is huge. For call tracking and form tracking, we make it a requirement for all of our clients because we're able to showcase them the ROI that is being delivered. So if you're using a marketing vendor now or a marketing person, or you are the marketing person, I definitely encourage you to check it out because it's only $45 to $90 a month for you to get better tracking for your marketing. We have Active Campaign, which is similar to HubSpot. It's for emails, for sales experiences and sales management. We have ClickUp for project management, and then a lot of us know about Calendly, about scheduling appointments pretty easily and sending your calendar out to someone, and they can schedule a meeting right on your calendar. And that's it. So any questions or anything I could answer?
I just had a comment. You're very calming to listen to.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
Okay.
No, it's very comfortable to hear your presentation.
Okay.
Very, no stress. I mean, it's very calming to listen to. That's a compliment.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How do you deal with, say you've got a client that's been doing business the same way since inception, 30 years, and they don't really know what's out there, okay, and they don't understand that it's 2020, and up the game a little bit. So how would you approach something, a scenario like that?
Yeah, what we would do is we kind of put our self in the shoes of like a doctor, right? We're prescribing what their pain points are, like a solution for that. So if they're not willing to make that step or that change, it's probably not an ideal client for us. We could do so much with persuading them as much as we can, but if there's a lot of skepticism there or unwillingness to change, then it might not be a good fit, because what marketing is change, right? You're suggesting those new recommendations or new strategies or having a pivot month over month. And if that executive leader isn't willing to, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like that's a challenging one, right? So as much as we would do is putting together some presentations or identifying the pain points and the impact that can be made. So if they haven't been doing any call tracking or investing a lot into marketing, really tying it back into what are they trying to achieve in 3 years. With an example like Forenza Stone or Cornerstone Foot Care, Friends of Stone wants to buy new machinery, they want to hire more people, they want to expand their showroom. So what does that mean for marketing? That means 150 leads per month at an average customer lifetime value of $50,000 per head, so they could invest in a $2 million, $5 million machine. So if they want that, I just told them that that's what we need to do. But if they don't, then I don't know. I mean, he's probably well versed in that too, because he's all about making impacts like that.
One thing I'll say is that transition points on less than ideal psychology on the leadership team is getting them to focus and confirm the best interest of the business. Take the emotion and the personality out of the equation, saying basically we all want the business to progress and evolve. We need to understand what the best interest is in the business and make decisions in pursuit of it. Sometimes that makes the individual a rock star, sometimes it kicks them in the butt. They understand that going in. And the identification and pursuit of the best interest of the business isn't personal, it's just business. And if you can get the leadership team to really understand that, then you've got the chance of really having evolution within the construction of the leadership team, which filters through the organization and the business evolves. If that makes any sense.
What other questions?
I'm going to guess, Anthony, that with most businesses, there are certain seasonalities and whatnot. So some of this, there'll be a variation in terms of people's demand for cleaning, maybe higher as the holidays come, maybe after the holidays less. And so I suppose that when you do your marketing, you help people with marketing, they have to understand that there'll still be ups and downs and seasonalities. Is that your experience, let's say, with kitchen remodeling or anything else?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even with city cleaners, they know that Q1 and Q4 actually of each year, that it's their slowest time. It's always have been for decades, right? So how can we maybe create some language to make it not their slowest time or not make it as bad as it normally is? But also having that knowledge of how seasonality impacts your business is important too, because there's some businesses that don't know that. They're like, why is my Q4 down every year? But they don't really have that intelligence to figure that out,
Right.
or the data. With kitchen remodeling, there are external things that impact their business. COVID was great for them, fantastic for them. They were making a lot of money because people were sitting in their kitchens, in their houses, figuring out, I'm sick and tired of staring at this countertop or this kitchen cabinet. And they're like, I want to spend money, I'm bored. But now they're seeing, interest rates are up, the wars that are going on, politics, local, regional things that are happening within the cities and states, that impacts their buying decision too, or the homeowner's buying decision, especially with home builders. The interest rates are directly impacting them, which then impacts the countertop shop.
Right.
So there's a few different pieces.
Right, and I can see that. I practiced law for many, many years, and I was at a law firm not that long ago, and the head of the law firm didn't even know why you'd want a website. And honestly, he didn't want to do business with anybody that he didn't already know, and he didn't want to do business with anybody for whom his bills might ever be a material expense to them. So all he wanted was wealthy people that he already knew. And the last thing he would want would be 5 or 10 calls from, the unwashed with all range of problems on a given day. He would have no need. And yet there are other people who would see that possibility of 10 calls a day to sort through, hope that you might get one as an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So yeah, people that wouldn't want to change their business and are doing very well doing what they're doing, why would they want to do?
There is people, that are comfortable making, $500,000 a year as a one-man show person, or some smaller organizations that don't want to change. I mean,
Right.
you can't.
They won't do it.
Yeah,
No,
that's okay.
I met somebody
they're
the other
comfortable.
day, and he sells generators, and he said after a storm, he got 400 submissions.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who did the servicing of the generators was the guy who in his spare time returned calls. Well, not all of the 400 submissions would pony up for a $10,000 generator, but there wasn't even a full-time person. But the owner of the business may have just wanted to keep doing what he was doing, so he wouldn't. An aggressive person might bring on a new salesman and double the install crew and et cetera, and yet, this particular individual might have just been very happy just doing a few installs a week.
Yeah.
So,
I think that gets to understanding your target market. If what you're
Right.
after is a lifestyle business, that's one thing, and that's fine. People are extremely successful at that. But if
Your purpose and your objective is to truly create a business that can be generationally transferred, something that's independent of the individual, now we've got a different set of issues and a different set of objectives. And that's where understanding what that target is makes a huge difference on the decision-making in regards to what the best interest of the business truly is. If I'm perfectly comfortable killing $500,000 worth of legal work a year, I've been in that, I understand it. That's fine, but that's a lifestyle business. If you're looking for something that Junior can evolve into and progress into, we have to think about the business a little bit differently. Because bottom line is, if the business owner's purpose is simply lifestyle, that's one thing. But they have to understand that everyone they support is at risk in the event something happens to the individual. Because normally those organizations are individually dominant. We call it, there's a personality at the top, and they do virtually everything in regards to that business. When they get to my age, for example, they look around and they say, what the hell, I want to exit in a decade. What do I have to exit with? I go to one of these guys that works in M&A and I say, I want to sell a business. And they say, well, what are you going to sell? Your time? Bottom line is that's all they've got.
right.
And understanding the evolution and the creation of a business that is independent and separate from any of the individuals is a key transition point from the entrepreneur into a real business evolution model. And there's nothing right or wrong with either way. It's just understanding that if you choose one, that kind of limits what your options are on the back side.
Yeah.
You're getting off on it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, John DeJulia said, he said that his core customer is Peloton riding, Tesla driving, Apple using, Lululemon wearing people, right? Those are the people that he wants to be working with, and typically his clientele, right? So he's able to dial in his marketing a little bit more by what they wear, what they drive, what they use, where they spend their time, what they drive, traveling, etc. I was listening to a Scaling Up podcast this morning, and they were talking about how the customer said, you know what, I don't want to be treated like family. I don't want that, that type of relationship. I just want to be told how it is, and just have the partnership. So there's trying to understand your client's differences and how to leverage those relationships, and how it ties back into marketing too.
Okay, any more questions for Anthony? Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for
Thank you, Ben.
presenting. Very good.